going to create for you. Before we dive in, we're going to use a feature in Zoom, the chat, and let's get that rolling. Go ahead and drop in your comments in the chat and let us know where you're tuning in from. I know some people are still coming in, so that will give us also the ability to let them situated. If you're just joining us, we are asking everybody to put where they're tuning in from. So let us know in the chat. Awesome. And you know what? While you're at it, let's make it a bit more fun. Share with us one word that describes how you're feeling about learning more about crypto today. Curious, excited, maybe even skeptical, whatever it is, type it in the chat. It's all welcomed. I see excited, Annette says. Great, Doris says. Thrilled. Awesome. Love that. Okay, perfect. All right, so before we get started, I just want to set some ground rules and some expectations. This isn't just a webinar, it's an interactive workshop. And here's the truth. It's really not about getting something, it's about keeping it. Just like it's not about getting happy, it's about staying happy. Would you agree? Like with money, it's not about how much you're making, but it's how much you get to keep at the end of the day. So the same applies here. It's not about just getting the information that you're going to get today, it's about retaining it. So if you agree with me, type in the chat retention. Let me see who agrees. Retention, yeah, exactly. It's about retaining that information. So let's say you listen to a lot of information and next week you only remember 10%. That wouldn't be great, right? That'd be tragic actually, right? So we don't want that to happen. Did you know that studies from Yale and Harvard show that if you only listen, you're only retaining 7 to 10%? We don't want that to happen. That's like what, 1 out of 10? Not great. If you listen and take notes, your retention jumps to 40 and 50%. That's better, right? It is, but in school, that's still an F. Who here is happy to get an F? We want to do better, right? Okay, so how do we do better? Where some of you are already doing it, camera on, let's see those beautiful faces. Let's make it a little bit more personable, more fun, more engaging. And participation in the chat. Studies show that if you participate, your attention jumps from 40 to 50 to 80 and 90%. Who here loves 90% more than 40 or 50? Type 90% in the chat if that's you. That's like a B plus or an A. That's better, right? Awesome. So that's the secret. Let's turn those cameras on, participate in the chat. And to make it even more fun, Zaina has a special prize for the person who participates in the chat the most. So who's going to be our winner at the end? And we're tracking. We're going to know. So we're keeping track and we're going to see who's going to win that prize at the end. So now, before we dive into today's powerful content, I just want to set the tone, I want to set the stage, and I want to center us. I want to guide us through a meditation to just be able to segue into this next section powerfully. So let's do a 5-minute meditation, stay engaged with me, and let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Take a deep breath in through your nose and exhale slowly out of your mouth. Again, breathe in, filling your lungs, and breathe out, letting go of any tension. Let's do it one more time. In and out. Let your breath find a natural rhythm and continue to do it. While you're doing it, just notice your inhale and your exhale, rising and falling like the tide. This is your anger. This is your present moment and your anchor. Notice your shoulders softening. Notice your jaw unclenching. Notice the weight of your body being fully supported by the chair or the floor that's beneath you. Right here, right now, you are safe, you are grounded, and you are present. Now, I want you to imagine opening your crypto account on your phone or on your computer. See that balance as it is today. Notice that number. And now, imagine adding a 0 at the end. What does that look like? Notice how your body responds. And now, I want you to add another 0. Feel into that energy of expansion, of possibility. Your heart knows that this is available. Your mind may try to question it, and that's okay. Just come back to how it feels in your body, whether it's excitement, freedom, gratitude, embrace it. Let yourself breathe into that feeling. Because the truth is, abundance isn't something far away in the future. Abundance is your birthright. It's not just something in your bank account or your crypto account. It's your breath. It's your relationships and in the love that surrounds you. And when we tap into that now, we magnetize even more of it in our lives. So take one more deep breath, nourishing that breath in, and slowly let it out. Gently wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes, carrying this abundance energy back with you, knowing it was always here and it always will be. Let's come back. And now, without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker and our amazing host, Zaina. I'm gonna hand the torch off to you, and it's all yours.
Amazing. Amazing. Tina, thank you so much for that. Welcome, everyone. Wow. Even though I'm like super excited, I'm nervous, I'm seeing these faces come on. I'm so happy to see all of you. I was actually able to tune into a little bit of that, Tina. And when you said, feel that abundance is my birthright, I felt something inside of me shift. And I think it's so important. And that's why I wanted to include this short, powerful awareness, let's call it meditation, before we move into the, doing and 1, 2, 3 and technical analysis of talking about crypto and money, because I don't know about you, but I didn't grow up with a powerful context around money. Most of what I was taught about money came from fear, scarcity. Okay. So I've been at work for years now, reprogramming myself, reclaiming that birthright, right? So I invite you to keep doing the work yourself, because as we go into crypto, there is a lot of wealth that is going and that is being transferred right now and in the next 12 months. And so, okay. And we've got to be grounded in that abundance mindset as we make our choices and move forward. So thank you, Tina. You guys, there is an amazing team on here with me. So if I say, hey, team, I'm talking to the team. That's Linda, Gary, Jad, Tina. And if I say, hey, fam, that's the rest of you. Okay, so there's team and there's fam. Okay. And fam is like I'm interacting with you guys. I'm asking you guys to put things in the chat like that because I will be talking to you straight, or I may say your name too, because a lot of you I know. And if I don't know you, I know a little bit about you. So thank you for being on. I'm going to jump right in, you guys, because we have a lot to cover and a lot to do. And we are going to go till exactly 6:30 today. All right. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to make it a little prettier. Let me share as background. Here we are. Okay. Thumbs up. You guys can see me in front of the Bull Run. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the Bull Run 2025 webinar. How to ride a wave and how to protect your profits. If you're on here, okay, I am assuming that you've been in crypto. You've either been through a cycle already, you've purchased crypto, you have some on a wallet somewhere, you know how to buy it, you know how to sell it, but you're here for clarity. You're here for the next step. And that's what we're doing over here. So like Tina said, we're making learning fun, okay? If you're not on camera, don't worry about it if you can't be on camera. What I want you to get out of this, I want you to be present so you don't miss any of this. I want you to also participate so you can retain it. And then there will be a part where we're actually going to work on exit strategies, and I'm going to ask you to go to work on your plan on this call. So the prize for the person who interacts the most in the chat. So every time you put an exclamation point or you put something in the chat, that counts as an interaction, okay? Don't put a bunch of dots, you guys. If you do that, we'll eliminate you. It's got to be, engaging. So whoever has the most interaction will win a free, a complimentary session with myself to look at your crypto exit strategy, and that's priced at $750. Okay, so we'll announce that not at the end of the webinar, but we'll announce it by email after the webinar is complete. Yay, fun times. All right, the intention. What is the intention? Everybody on this webinar will know how to navigate this bull run with clarity and with confidence. You'll know how to protect your profits, avoid the traps, and step into sovereignty while inviting each one of you not to go at this alone, okay? To get into a crypto community. So by the end of this webinar, you will know exactly how to approach the bull run. Fair? If that's fair, leave me a fair in the chat. That's your opportunity to engage. Go. All right, who am I? Some of you I know very well on this call. I see some familiar faces. Some of you I'm not familiar with you. You may not be familiar with me, but either way, every day I'm a new person. So if you don't know me, here I am again. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm an author, coach, tutor. I'm a crypto investor like you. I'm a creator of the Crypto Basics course. I do have a hypey and hippie personality, okay? So I get overexcited. I just want you to know I'm not trying to hype you up on this call about crypto, Bitcoin, none of that. In fact, my intention is the opposite, is to have you grounded in what's so you can be empowered, okay? And lastly, I am you. I am the person sitting on the webinar right now, hungry to learn, to figure out how do I use this very unique time in history to change the rest of my life, my family's legacy, my community legacy. Because like you, I have the eyes to see, and I can discern that what's happening right now is very special, very unique. We are at the forefront of a paradigm shift that is happening before our eyes. If you can see that and you can sense this, leave a me too in the chat. This is not financial advice, okay? So guys, even though some of you, I've talked to you as far as financial education, I am a licensed person that can talk to people about things like estate planning, tax-free retirement. This webinar is not about that. I'm not here to give you financial advice. This is for educational, I didn't mean to put, I meant to put entertainment and informational purposes only. What I'm sharing here is what I'm doing, what I'm passionate about. These are my personal opinions and my views. My hope is that you take this and you form your own views and your own opinions and you do your own research. Okay, I'm going to get into the meat of this. I'm going to move quickly in this because I am assuming that a lot of you know this. If you don't know this information, just know you will get a recording. You can watch it slower. Okay. And if you do know this information, bear with me. Like I said, I'm going to move through this rather quickly. I want to get you guys, everybody on the same page before we go into the live exit strategies. Okay. So let me just take a look who is here. Hi, Angie. Hi, Celso. Hi, Annette. All right. Andrea. Andrea, are you the one that asked for the live? I know, Annette, you're one of them. We're going to do you. And I think, Andrea, you're the other one. If you are, you're on mute. You can just put it in the chat and we'll get to that in just a few. All right, you guys. So a quick overview. Where are we in the cycle right now? So just by show of hands, you can just show your physical hand on the screen. Who has never heard of the 4-year Bitcoin cycle? Just like, what is that? A lot of you guys are, if you're off camera, you can use the digital hand. So I have an idea. Who's never heard? Jad, you've never heard the 4-year cycle. Okay. I know, Angie, you wrote the cycle. You wrote the code for the halving. She is Satoshi. So, and okay, so let me go into it very quickly. There is something called a 4-year cycle, okay? And it's the catalyst of the 4-year cycle is called the Bitcoin halving. So I want to talk about this. I want to talk about the current stage we're in that cycle and what the charts look like. So let me just summarize for you guys. What the heck does that mean, a Bitcoin halving? Okay. Bitcoin halving is when the supply of the new Bitcoin gets cut in half every 4 years, making it scarcer. Okay, fine. That's cool. But what does that have to do with this? Well, when this happens every 4 years, there's been a pattern. It sends the Bitcoin price to its new high. Okay. So the Bitcoin 4-year cycle has 4 parts. It starts with the halving. That's catalyst. The last halving we had was in April, it was 23rd of 2024. Celcio, I was with you when that happened, right? We were doing crypto basics. It was exciting. The halving happened, and we knew it was the catalyst of what we're looking at now. Then that is the next step is the bull run, the appreciation, and then the acceleration phase. The bull run is the part of the cycle where the prices go up. And then after that, there's a crash or reversal phase where the price declines and everything crashes down. And then we have a readjustment or bottoming phase, or sometimes called an accumulation phase. That's usually the longest part of the 4 parts. Now, for those of you who are visual, check this out. 4 cycles. Here's the first halving, the first cycle. Okay, shortly after, it's approximately 12 months, we hit the next top. Second cycle, here's the halving. Approximately 12 months later, we hit the next top. Third halving, this is probably where some of you had your first crypto experience. It's where you lost your virginity. This is where some of you bought and maybe you got scammed. Okay, if you got scammed in crypto, I'm so sorry that happened to you. This may be where some of you bought. This is 2020, 2021. And then you were like, you got scared and you sold everything and then everything went to the moon and you're shot, you kicked yourself in the face and you're still kicking yourself in the face over it. Or some of you like me, it went up and you held on because you didn't know what the heck you were doing and you watched it go all the way back down and it never came back up till now. Okay. So if you're in any of those, which you probably are, otherwise you wouldn't be on this call. You'd just be bawling in what's it called? In Bali or somewhere, not needing to be on this call. But if that did happen to you, I'm sorry that happened to you. Okay. And congratulations, that was our tuition. Okay, that was our tuition for getting educated in this. I don't know about you, but all this stuff was pretty new to me in 2020. Okay. I was just getting started learning how to invest. I didn't know about Bitcoin having Bitcoin cycle, taking profits. I didn't know anything I'm about to show you now. So if you missed out last time, this is your shot. Okay. And why I'm showing this to you guys, take a look at this. Fourth cycle having happened 2024 April. What are we now? We're what? September? So it's been over a year since the halving also. Okay. Most people back then would have told you we'd be at 200K right now, but we're not. Now, history, they say, doesn't repeat itself, but it often, can you guys fill it in? Who knows what comes after it? Often, go ahead, Annette. Often dimes, it often vines, it often rhymes. Okay. So if we look at what's been happening this year, wow, everything that we talked about a year ago has happened. Not at the exact time. And we'll talk about why the timing's different this time, but it certainly has rhymed. Do you guys agree? Those have been following. If you agree, leave a yes in the chat that you've been watching this. And it's like we're Nostradamus around here. You guys remember Nostradamus? He used to predict the future. But the thing with crypto is it's quite predictable. So why is this bull run different? Why is it taking a little bit longer than what the pattern is? Well, this is a new type of cycle we're in, you guys. And I'll briefly go over this. It's not the same market than it was in 2020. It's not going to operate the same. Why? Institution adoption, corporate treasuries. Okay, since January 2024, ETFs have come in. Bitcoin ETF was approved. Summer of 2024, ETH was approved. Solana, XRP ETFs are getting approved. What does that mean is banks, countries, governments, BlackRock, huge institutions are now purchasing crypto. Different market. We have new narratives. Okay, in 2021, we weren't talking about the top AI coins because that didn't exist. We weren't talking about real world assets because we weren't there yet in the market. And then the macro tailwind is crypto is affected by real world stuff. So the Fed's cutting the rates impacts us. The dollar weakening, war, all these things are actually bullish for crypto. Okay. So we are in a different market. Now, what are the indicators that we look for? And this is part of the call I want you guys to pay attention to, because that's the part of the call that you're going to have to pay attention to from now on. Now, you can follow people and you can be in a community, but you also want to be able to say, yeah, I know what Bitcoin dominance is, and I know why it's important when I'm looking for the top. Because right now, do you guys agree we are in such a critical time? We're at the final part of the cycle, which is the bull run. And then we're at the final part of the bull run, which is the tiny part of it that's called the acceleration phase. Okay. So that part of the bull run finishes with Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high and topping off this cycle. So what are the indicators to know that we are getting there? Bitcoin dominance is one of them. So let me talk to you guys about Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is the percentage of the entire crypto market's value that comes from Bitcoin. Simply said, if the total crypto market, all the money in crypto is $4 trillion right now, that's what it is. Okay. And if Bitcoin, how much money is in Bitcoin is 2 trillion, then Bitcoin dominance is, guys, put it in the chat. What would it be? 50, right? 50%. Simply said, when dominance is high in the 60 and 70%, it means that Bitcoin is leading and it's sucking up most of the money. Usually this happens at the beginning of the bull run. And then when dominance starts to go down, it means that money starts to flow out of Bitcoin into other coins. This is an indicator of alt season. And I'll go into alt season and why it's important in just a moment. So traders use Bitcoin dominance as a signal. If dominance is high, we're more conservative. We stick with the blue chips, with Bitcoin. When dominance is falling, then we can get more creative and we can look for altcoin opportunities. So Bitcoin dominance goes like this. The money flows from Bitcoin to ETH to majors, mids, and micros. let's talk about the zones. Okay, this is so, so important. So when you're in a BTC dominance of 60 to 70%, that's what we've been in, guys, for most of the year. It's been going down. It's been on a downward slope all the way today. I checked it, it's at 58%. So we are in the blue zone. It's the lowest it's been right now, and we're on our way down. So at 58%, we start rotating some Bitcoin profits into larger caps that we trust. ETH, Solana, XRP, Cardano, Doge, Link, slowly. Okay, no low caps yet, not the time yet for those. You want confirmation. So right now, for example, I've been taking profits from my Bitcoin. One, you don't have to do that. If you have capital, don't take profits from your Bitcoin, keep accumulating it. But if you don't have the capital, you can leverage those bigger coins because they're going to go up first, right? So I've been taking profits from my Bitcoin. And now what I'm doing is I am topping off, Annette, my Cardano, my Doge, my Link is one of my favorites. I'm getting some AVAX, some H bar. Okay, top 10, top 20 coins that haven't popped yet. Okay, like that haven't touched their old all-time high. And most of these have not. Doge hasn't even come close to it. Cardano hasn't come close to it. Link hasn't come close to it. Okay, so that's exactly where we are right now. And then when we move into green zone, that is when the dominance is between 50 and 55%. That's by then you would have profits, Annette, from your Solana or your top 20s. And then you can then pivot. That last zone, the orange zone where dominance is under 50%, that's the take profit zone. That's last cycle in 2021. When we got to this part, you guys, it was a 2-week zone, Florence, of the highest profits you could. It was only 2 weeks, but you had to be aware of this stuff. Otherwise, the emotions are so high. That's when euphoria kicks in. Everybody's like, some PP coin, and everybody's going crazy. That's when we sell. That's when we take our profits, okay? Because if you've been in the game now and you bought your coins now, the prices are still phenomenal right now. I'm talking everything so far. The only thing that's really moved is Ethereum and Solana and XRP. XRP did a nice move. Okay, so that's Bitcoin dominance. Now, other signs of alt season, okay, that we're watching for right now. So the first one is Bitcoin dominance starts to drop below that 55% level. Then ETH ratio strengthens. In other words, Ethereum starts to outperform Bitcoin. We're already seeing that. Have you guys noticed? We've had 3-4 weeks now of Ethereum performing better than Bitcoin on a daily basis. This is a huge indicator. We've moved into that phase. It's very exciting. Then the top cap alts wake up. We saw it. Solana is doing great this week. It's up 221. Awesome. XRP's already moved. It's doing its thing. ADA and Link, we're waiting for them now. Let's go, guys. So this is usually the early alt season phase. This is where we are right now. It's called early alt season phase, the end of the end and the beginning of the end. You'll hear retail FOMO returns, okay? This is when we start to hear friends, coworkers, Uber drivers, hairdressers asking about crypto. Should I buy Dogecoin? How do I get Bitcoin? Is it too late to get Ethereum? You go to your app store and crypto.com is in the top 10. Coinbase is in the top 10. We're back. We're not there yet, by the way, but it's part of the signs of sentiment. And social media is flooded with 10x altcoin. Oh, you're going to 10x this, you're going to 10x that. We start to see explosion in mid micro caps, and then we start to see the small caps pump 100, 1,000 X's. That's that 2-week window. And this is what we call the banana phase. It's peak excitement. It's euphoria. We are in it. Okay. So you guys can see, if you can see it, leave in the chat, I see it. We are in the beginning of altcoin season, beginning. All right, let's look at strategy, you guys. Strategy overview. Number 1 rule, protect your capital first, chase gains second. Okay. phase one, dollar cost average. Now, here's the thing, dollar cost average into your blue chip coin, whatever club you're in, whatever cult you're in. If you're the XRP army, if you're Bitcoin, if you're Pulse Chain, if you're whatever it is that you believe in, that you have conviction about, that's what you're dollar cost averaging in. You're not waiting to get big amounts and when should I buy Bitcoin? You're just buying Bitcoin every month because this is your 401k. This is your long-term saving. Okay. For me, it's Bitcoin and XRP. And by the way, I'm not attached to either one of those. I don't have like a philosophy that any day I'm just watching what's happening in the world and that can change. It would be hard to change Bitcoin, but it's possible. Okay. Anything is possible. Do you guys agree? Anything is possible. Pigs are flying, y'all. Nothing surprises me. Nothing. So DCA, number one, it's a foundation. So if you're not doing that now, figure out what is your blue chip and set an amount. For me, it's how I started with crypto. I save 10% of my income. If I get $200 in, I take $20, I put it into a savings account. One day I said, oh my God, I don't want to put my money in a savings account. I don't trust the US dollar. So I started instead buying Bitcoin with that 10%. And that's how I started crypto. Now, phase two, this is where we are, guys. Phase two, rotate into top cap alts. For some of you on this call, it may be where you stop. Okay. I was talking to someone yesterday. He's like, I just redid my plan. I'm only going for the top 20. I'm going to take my profits there, take it out when the time is there, and get ready for the next cycle. Awesome. Okay. If that's you, that's beautiful plan because you will do well with those top 20. Phase three, play the narratives with moonbags. Okay, so that's the pivoting into the micro caps, the pivoting into the smaller coins, the riskier ones, and that will come later. Okay, some of you may go towards phase three, and if you do, I'll talk more about moonbags and how that works. Okay, risk management really quickly. Only invest what you can afford to lose. Guys, I am so confident about crypto. I could talk about it all day. I'm excited about it. I know about everything, and I could tell you like this one's good, this one's good. But I'm not under the illusion that this is not a highly speculative space. Okay. The S&P 500 has been around. Crypto's been around since 2008. It's a new space. Personally, I'm very conservative. And what that means, and that's, by the way, why I survived the last accumulation phase. And Angie, you did too, because we did not go big on altcoins. Okay. My portfolio was 75% Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. All right. And honestly, if I hadn't done that, I would have been wiped out in the last couple of years, totally wrecked. And a lot of people got wrecked. So it's really important to stay conservative. Don't get cocky and confident. So the only time I get a little bit more risky in that is this time right now. I'm going to expose myself a little bit more now because I know what's coming, but I'm still going to stay conservative as F, Angie, because I'm still not going to get like, anything can happen. Okay. So only invest what you can afford to lose. And for some of you, that may mean like putting any money into crypto. But if you're like me and you trust the whole thing, you love it all, then that may mean that you keep your portfolio at 75% blue chips and you only play with 25% with this pivoting stuff we're talking about. Okay. Cold wallets over exchanges. Always, always, always keep your crypto on a cold wallet, period. However, during a bull run, you want to have access to your funds. You want to be able to automate your profits, and you can't do that on a cold wallet. So right now, I've been freeing up my money from my cold wallet and moving it to Coinbase where I do my automation. Okay. And I'm going to show you guys how I do that. And then once I make profits on Coinbase, I immediately move that money into my cold wallet. Okay. Whatever I don't have to leave on whatever I don't have to leave on an exchange, I don't. Diversify, but don't dilute. Pick maybe one or two narratives. For example, I want to do AI and I want to do memes once we get to the pivoting part. Okay. Pick the foundational ones. Like, let's say you want to do AI. Go look up what are the top three AI coins. TAO, Tau, and Render. Stick to the foundational ones. What are the top meme coins? Doge, Shiba, Pepe, right? Stick to those. Stick to the foundational, but don't go crazy. Why? Unless you're doing this full time and you want to manage a lot of coins, most people don't. So keep it simple. Everything's going to do really well and stick to the basics. Okay, the exit problem. 90%, this is crazy, of people give back profits. Guys, the bull run is the time where you can make the most money in crypto, and it's the time where most people don't make money. Why? Put it in the chat. Why? It's on the screen. They have no plan. Okay. So when we have no plan, especially in investing and trading, we're just going to go off of our emotions. And that's a wreck waiting to happen. Yeah. So that's the reason why I came out without profits. I didn't have a plan last time around. I didn't know to make a plan. I didn't know what it even looked like to make a plan. And I have a feeling most of you didn't either. So making a plan, sticking to it, and then having, that meditation that Tina did at the beginning, it it's so important that we tap into the meditations, the consciousness, because you've got to be able to trust yourself despite all the noise, right? And have community around you so you can bounce things off. Like Angie, you're somebody I consider who's so tapped in, and you and I bounce things off of each other. Right. And I appreciate that community so much to be able to do that, because last crypto run, I did it on my own, you guys, and it sucked. It sucks to be on your own. Okay, let's talk about the framework. How do I create exit strategies? This is the most important part of the webinar. This is why you're here. I want you guys to know how to create a freaking plan and how to execute your plan, because if I've shown you this a year ago, 2 years ago, great. This is the time. If you don't get off the phone today and by the end of the day have some game plan, you miss the boat, because you're going to miss the boat. We don't have any more time. The plan needs to happen now if you don't have one. Okay. So first, you've got to set your price targets ahead of time. So Nancy, you buy Cardano today, then you want to know today where you're going to cash out Cardano at what price. Okay. Like you want to have your price target when you make your purchase. But Zaina, how do I figure out the price targets? Well, we'll talk about that. Okay. And then step 2, you want to automate your profit taking by dollar cost averaging out. Why do you guys think I say automate it? Put it in the chat. Why automate? Why are you automating your profits? Why is that important? Emotions, you guys. Emotions. Yes. Yes. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you guys how you do it. Yes. So you can take the emotion out of it. I'll tell you, the hardest thing to do is hit sell. Well, why should I sell? Because look at what it says at the bottom. It's not about timing the top. Even the best traders, guys, nobody times the top. Okay. It's not about timing the top. It's about exiting this market with profits. So you can go buy that land, open that retreat center, get that house, retire your mom, whatever is important to you. But yeah, so it can be out of mind, out of sight, out of emotions. And then we keep a moon bag. So let's put it on the court, you guys. Let's actually put this to the test. Did I really finish early? Good. All right, so we have more time for exit strategies. All right, so, and we will have a Q&A shortly. So anything that came up in this last session that you're like, what is she saying? Write it down. I'm going to come back to it. And we're going to now move into working on some people's exit strategies. So where is my friend Annette? Here you are. Annette, are you ready? Oh, hold on. Let me add your spotlight. Add a spotlight. All right. Here we
Here I
are.
am. Yes.
Hey.
Well, how do we get started? How do you want to do
Let
this?
me tell you, I'm going to pull out my notes and I'm going to ask you a few questions. All right. So, Annette, what do you have in your crypto
Oh,
portfolio right now?
where are my notes? Hold on. Well, I just lost. Okay. So, what I wanted to share about is more than anything is a few of mine and Michael's. You know, I've been watching my husband's. So he's got ETH, he's got some Bitcoin, Solana, XRP. He's got some that are just bombing out, like Uniswap, Graph Dot. You know, they're just, he hasn't been able to come get ahead in any way to take any profits in those smaller caps.
You can't. Nothing has happened. So,
Okay.
okay. So give me some of the smaller caps. You've got Dot, you've got Una, you've
He's
got,
got, yeah, he's got something called Graph.
yeah, that's a AI one.
Yeah, Dot. He's got a Polygon.
Yeah.
Those are pretty much, and you know,
Okay.
he's
Any of the
pretty
ones
much
you have
this.
what are the ones you have?
Well, I have I've got some Tau and Rune that are, you know, going down. Phantom, which is another one. I've got Near, and then I've got some of the other the blue caps. Let me just hold on, go to my
Do you have
sheet.
any, do you have any Bitcoin and ETH?
No, well,
Okay.
ETH, I do have a little bit. No, I do have a little bit of ETH. I've got, but I just have like a couple $100.
Okay.
Um, I've got AVAX, Ondo, Link. Link has done well, but I don't know what to do about it. XRP and Filecoin and Fetch. I've got some Doge, Fet, Injective I got too. Someone Injective kind of jumped out at me
Okay.
at one point.
All right, let me go back to your husband's. I don't know if we're going to do both. Now, let me ask you about your husband's because I know you're managing his, right? So, what are his blue chips? What is he accumulating long term? Have you guys figured that out?
Um, you know, God, I missed a number on his. Yeah, well, Ethereum, he's up like almost $5,000.
Hold on, Annette, but which ones are you accumulating long term? Like, for example, mine.
Oh, ETH, yeah, ETH we're thinking about. Yeah, Bitcoin, which he only has about $6,000 in. And I'm wondering
Okay,
about Solana.
okay. So you have 6,000 in Bitcoin and you have how much in ETH?
Oh, my, like 15,000.
Okay, and how much do you have in Solana?
Solana, 5,000.
Okay. Do you have capital right now, Annette, to buy more crypto, or are you utilizing the leverage strategy that I showed you? Like, are you going to
Um,
leverage Bitcoin's profits to pivot, or do you have new money?
we could probably put some new money in.
How
Yeah,
much?
you know, no, let's say maybe only about right now 3,000.
Okay. So we could play with 3,000. Let me ask you about your Ethereum. You may not have this info, or maybe you have an idea. Initially, how much did you buy of Ethereum? You didn't start at
So
50.
no, he had initially when he bought it, it was about $2,500, and
Okay.
I think he bought $10,000 worth. So that's what I mean.
Okay,
He's
so he
up.
started, so he's put in 10,000 in Ethereum, and right now he's got 15,000 sitting there.
Mhm.
Okay. Tell me about his 6,000 in Bitcoin. How much did he originally put in?
Um, tw just about 2,200.
Okay. So
Yeah,
20,
you remember we cashed out a Bitcoin a little too early. I wish we had held a little bit longer, but we bought a house and we needed the money. So
okay. And what
yeah.
about Solana? Where did he start with Solana?
Solana, he started out at oh gosh, I'm not sure I'm understanding my notes. Let's see. He's down. He's probably started about $6,000.
Oh,
He's
he's
down about
okay.
1,400.
You got it pretty high. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
So, and then Bitcoin and Ethereum, you do not want like those are the ones you're holding, right? Okay.
right.
So your ETH, you're up by 5,000, and your Bitcoin, you're up 3x on it.
Yeah, I mean, unless you think we should take some money out of ETH, I don't know.
It,
Bitcoin's, I
it's up
don't want
to
to
you.
touch.
It's
Yeah.
up to you. Like for me, if I had capital right now to put into crypto, I wouldn't touch my blue chips. My strategy is because I don't have the capital, so I'm leveraging off of the bigger coins, pivoting, taking the profits off of the high caps, pivoting, taking the profits off of the mid caps, pivoting, and going for the micro caps at the end, right? So, but if you have the capital, then you can put that in, because right now there's lots of great things to get. Okay, now before we move in what to do with that 3,000 in net, let's talk about the Solana. So the Solana, he bought it. Do you know how much he bought it at? Like $200 or something?
It was 233. Yeah.
Well, he bought it high. Okay. So
Yeah.
look, we
And
can
let
do,
me just tell you one thing. Somehow he pushed a button and it's staking. And I wanted to ask you about staking a little bit and
okay.
if how
I'll
that
ask
works.
it.
And so he's
Yeah.
getting little bits of money. He's had little bits of profit along the way. So
Okay. So let me talk about staking. I just want to look. I'm not going to touch your stuff. Let's do an exit strategy for the Solana. I want you guys to see the how I think about it and how we execute it. And let me make a parentheses, a bracket on staking. There was a time where staking was an amazing thing in crypto. We used to do something called yield farming. You would go from one exchange to the other, get double-digit yields, and just make a ton of money on your crypto until they started shutting down overnight and we lost all of our money yield farming. Okay.
mm,
So staking means it's like putting your money at the bank in the CD. You can't touch it, but it grows. Okay. Now, during a bull run, I wouldn't have anything staked because I want to have access to sell things. So if you're planning to sell your ETH, then unstake it now because it takes like 15 whatever days for them to release it. But if you're not planning on selling it, Annette, you could leave it there. I personally don't leave anything on exchanges. I've been burnt. I don't want to stake it. I'd rather go to sleep knowing it's in my cold wallet. But I don't stake at all on exchanges.
okay.
Okay. But if you choose to do it, maybe you do it for a portion. I think, like, for example, actually, the only place that I stake is I put USDT, USDC on Coinbase and I let it build the 4 or 5% instead of having my money in a high yield savings. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Now let's take Solana and take a look at what we can do with that Solana. Let me share my screen. I'm going to pull up my exit strategy sheet and we're going to plug in. Do you know how many coins your husband has in Solana?
No, I don't.
Okay. Are you able to look it up?
Um,
Well,
no.
wait, hold on. We can figure it out. He's got how much in there? He's got
I mean,
6,000.
he's home. I can get his phone if you
It's
want.
okay. No, I could do the math. He's got about 6,000. And you said he bought them at
But yeah.
Okay, so he's got about 25 coins. So I'm going to plug in 25.75107. It's about how many coins he has. The price he bought them at was 233, which is probably near the all-time high. It's pretty high, but don't worry. He's going to do okay. And then the value of that was about $6,000. Okay. Now 25.75107. So the first thing that I want to figure out is what's my exit for Solana? When am I going to get out? Okay, how do you figure that out? Let me tell you guys. So I look at a few things, okay? I have a price target sheet which I can share with you guys. And every one of these price targets has a YouTube video so you can see how they figure this out. It has to do with market cap, has to do with fundamentals, has to do with a bunch of things. But I'll tell you this sheet, I just use it as a reference. So this is based on if Bitcoin tops at 155. You guys following me? Everybody tracking? If you're tracking, put tracking in the chat. So based on Bitcoin topping at 155K, we've made these predictions. Solana's predictions is 694. For me, that is extremely conservative for Solana right now. Okay. My top personally, Annette, for Solana is more like an 800 to 1,000. Okay.
Great.
And that's if Bitcoin goes up above 150, which, you know, we still don't know yet. So let's say we base it off of even if you base it off of the conservative, what it said, 694, let's say we do 794. So we do 800. So what I generally will do is I take my capital at the beginning. So let's say you went in at 233. When Solana doubles in price, you're going to double your money, right, Annette?
Right.
So at that point, if you wanted to, you could take out the original 6,000 you put in. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's say you did that. That would leave you with a balance of 6,000. And then, I don't think it's doing the damn formula. Hold on. Let's go through this. There it is. So now that means you have 12 coins left. And then let's say the price actually does go to 800, then those 12 coins would then have a value of $10,000. Okay. And let's say that's the price you say, I'm out. At that point, what I do is I leave a moon bag. A moon bag is 10% of what I have left. I leave it in for the F of it to see what will happen. And then I take out the rest. So in this case, you're talking, I'm going to take out 9,000, let's say $300. And it'll leave me with $1,000. This grand is my moon bag. And then I've taken out, you've taken the 6, you've taken out the 93. So your husband started with 6,000. He's going to come out, doubling his money 2.5. Okay. Now look, if you don't take out the capital right away, all right, you leave it in. So 15.3 is what we're at here, plus that 1,000. If I don't take out this 6,000 and you wait, which is like probably next year, God knows, first quarter, second quarter, depends how fast ETH moves right now. So let's say you don't take it out, you wait for it to hit 800, then you have 20,000 here and you leave 10%. So you're going to take out 18,600. It'll leave you with $2,000. So instead of 15 grand, you would leave with 18,000. So you not taking out the capital would give you $3,600 more.
But you could also lose it as well. No?
Exactly. Exactly. So I like to show you the difference. For me with Solana, I would take the risk because Solana is pretty up there. It's number freaking 4, right? But with those mid caps, like the Taos and the Renders and the Nears and all that, girl, I'm taking my capital as soon as I see it and I'm letting the rest run because I don't know what the,
Okay.
you know what I mean? So that is how I do my exit strategies. Okay.
And where is that sheet that you had, where the YouTube links are?
Oh, here, I'll
Where do we
put it.
find that?
I'll drop it in the thingamajig. This is not my sheet. This is somebody on YouTube that I've been following. And like I said, if you want to know how he comes up with his numbers, every coin has this. Don't use this like a Bible. It's very conservative. And if look, even look at XRP on here. Look at what they say the high is on XRP. It's like it says $3. It's already gone above and beyond that, right? Some of them it's just so conservative, and we're already seeing coins blast through this, but it's a place that I start my research. Okay. And then another place I look is I go to CoinGecko. What were we doing right now? This was Solana, right? So I look up Solana and just check it out. I check out the all-time high, which if you scroll down, you can see here, all-time high happened. See, it already hit an all-time high this year, Solana. So Solana's already trekked to 293 and then it's retraced back. Okay. So the next like big deal for Solana, it's got to bust through this resistance level at the top. Okay. And who's next in line right now after Ethereum busts through that 48.95 all-time high is Solana. Okay. So, even though he bought it high compared to 800, it is what it is. Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing for now and then check in. I have one other person who wanted to do the live that had emailed me, and I can't remember who it was. Did anybody say it in the chat? Was it Adriana? Or if you're muted, just let us know. Or if anybody else wants to
It
do
was me, Andrea.
Andrea,
Yeah.
hey.
Hi. I've
Awesome.
had
Nice
my camera off.
to see you, meet you, be with you. Okay, cool. So Andrea, I actually loved I love what you wrote. So share a little bit like where you are. So tell me kind of the same thing. What are you holding right now?
I'm primarily in Bitcoin and proxies, and I have quite a lot of AI stocks,
Okay.
and I have proportionally, I have a very small amount of money in I have like some in Solana, and then I have a tiny amount in like Ethereum,
Okay.
Subi.
Give me an idea. Like how much do you have in Bitcoin? About.
I'm not going to say,
Okay. Well,
but
let's of your
substantial, like substantial, but
well, let me
not
ask
like,
you about your Bitcoin. You don't have to give me amounts.
yeah.
How much X's have you made from when you started? So if you started at 10,000, you're at 40,000, that's a 4X.
I never, probably like 2 to 3x.
Okay. 2 to 3X. And is Bitcoin something that you are going to hold long term?
Yes. Well, it is, but I'm getting nervous.
Okay.
Um,
Well, look, here's the thing you want to know, and this everybody, Bitcoin is going to crash.
yeah.
Okay. Now, based on what the experts are saying, like remember, we follow the patterns, but we're in a new world, right? And things are rhyming, but they're not exactly the same. One thing that we're seeing is the pullbacks are not as bad as the other cycles. So even like going into the next cycle, the bear market may be like the worst one we've seen, or it could be the shortest one we've seen. Okay. So you've got to know that like the trajectory of Bitcoin is only going up in the long term, but we are going to have pullbacks as the cycles. But here's the thing. If you have 3x that money and you need money to do something with, use it, right? Like that's up to you. Or sometimes what I do, guys, is like I just pay myself a management fee. Like even if you take a few hundred or whatever, a percentage to pay yourself a managed fee. So there's an energy exchange that's going on because your crypto or your investments or your stocks are meant to make you money. They're meant for you to use to buy real things, not just to see it go up and down, right? And if you let me put myself too. And if you do wait, Andrea, and you don't take profits, you will miss out, right? So it's really up to you. Like if I've, if I'm holding Bitcoin long term and I've 3X it, maybe I take a small amount just to, like I said, just to give myself a pat on the back to say, all right, that's a management fee for doing what you've done so far. Um, do you have other coins that you want to look at an exit strategy for? That
like I
makes
said, I'm mostly in Bitcoin and proxies
okay.
and AI stocks, and then I have
What are proxies, Andrea? Like
like
other,
MicroStrategy and Bitcoin ETFs.
oh, so you're mostly like, so the only crypto you have is Bitcoin, and then you have crypto related stocks and ETFs.
Well, so I have in spot, I have, like I said, I have a relatively small amount of Solana.
Okay.
I have some Solana stocks,
Okay.
like Sol Strategies, and then I have a very small amount of ETH, SUI, TON, ICP, XRP, Cardano, and Polkadot. Like really a very, very small amount, like $1,000 or $2,000 total. And I have about 8,000 in Solana, and then the rest is in Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin spot and Bitcoin proxies, and I have, like I said, AI stocks like
Okay.
Tesla and mostly Tesla and like in a little bit of Nvidia, Palantir, Oracle,
Cool.
things like that. And I'll
Okay.
just for kind of context, I'm pretty much like my income, I had some rental income, it just stopped. I'm basically like kind of retiring. And so I have like I have a nice chunk of this, investment portfolio, but I need to manage it carefully so that I can basically retire on it. So I don't want to risk, and it's pretty high risk. Like basically I can't afford to lose this.
No.
So I want to follow like retirement strategy or planning is have like a year or two at least of cash on hand in case things do drop. I'll have cash to live on and not have to sell in a down market. So
Okay.
that's my goal right now is, and then also I had written down before, where do I hold the cash?
Okay,
If I'm
good.
gonna,
Th-
I don't really want to, I'm too busy right now kind of to like time and play and pivot and like I don't want to do that really.
Hold the cash question. I just
Yeah.
want to go back to your retirement question.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't answer these questions for you, but I'm going to ask them to you so you can look, okay?
Yeah.
So you've got a large amount of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to keep going up in this cycle till a certain point, okay? Everything I just shared with you guys, once alt season kicks in, you guys, the Bitcoin top has already happened. Okay, Bitcoin tops, there's a stall of a month or two, altcoin season happens, everything goes parabolic, we take our profits. Personally, I'm taking profits from everything except Bitcoin. And if I need Bitcoin, I may sell some to you guys, and then I'm going to rebuy it. I'm going to rebuild my portfolio because it's going to drop again. Maybe you won't have an opportunity to get it at 60 grand. I don't know. But even if I get it at 100 grand, I'm going to keep accumulating it. Okay. So if I'm looking like from where you're looking from, I may want to DCA out of some Bitcoin so that I can at least set myself up for a year. Whatever it would take for you to live for a year, dollar cost average out of Bitcoin. So what's Bitcoin at? Like 115 now? So you
Yeah.
could create like a plan to take out 20% of that 1 year amount for you at 125, 130, because we're nearing the top, guys. And if we go to like 250 in this market, okay, I'm going to be completely wrong, but I'd rather leave money on the table than try to catch a top and miss it and
Yeah.
freaking do this. We don't want that. Leave
Yeah.
money on the table, but take your
Yeah.
damn profits. So,
Yeah.
Andrea, if you can do 20%, 25 times on the way up to like, let's say 155, and that number, it may change for me. That's the number I'm using now, you guys, but I'm watching things really carefully. And if you're in my crypto club, like I keep everybody abreast of like if that number changes for me. Because if that number changes, all my other tops change for the altcoins, right? But then it also affects everything like when I sell. So, but you've got to determine for yourself what's that top for you right now. Okay, for you, it's 150 or whatever, then DCA out a little bit. Take profits is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I will never tell people not to take profits because that's what we're here for. And will you have less Bitcoins if you take profits? Yes, you'll have less Bitcoin. That's what taking profits does. And then the value is going to go up and you'll have more money with less
Yeah.
coins. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were saying, if Bitcoin dominance is now at 58%, does that mean that Bitcoin is not going to keep rising still?
No, no, no. It'll keep rising. The dominance, so there's so much
Like if
money.
we've moved into ETH and alts now, does
It'll
Bitcoin
keep,
stop?
well, it will plateau out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It may have another little pump, but we're on the tail end of this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to move to the cash question?
Sure.
Where do I put cash?
Yeah.
Do you trust banks?
Um, well, I'll say maybe, but also, I don't want to get like 0.5% interest.
Yeah. I don't trust banks. Okay.
Yeah.
If I trusted banks, I would put money into a high yield savings, which I don't know if they're still going to have them after the rates being dropped. I don't even know what happened today, but
They
they're up
dropped, they dropped them to 25 a quarter.
a quarter,
Yeah.
0.25.
25 points. Yeah.
Interesting.
And with, I think, two more coming in the year, this year.
Okay. So if
But
I
nothing moved really. Like Bitcoin's
Oh,
just kind of,
things
there was a
happen.
lot of like green, like big green and red candles, but everything just kind of seemed to plateau.
Okay. So
Bitcoin went down a bit, but not really.
for cash, Andrea, I do
Yeah.
three things, okay? I have cash on hand, right?
Yeah.
If there's no power and we have a blackout, people ask me that. What's going to happen to my crypto? I mean, it's going to stay on the blockchain, but you ain't going to access it. So
Yeah.
have something, have
Yeah.
like some cacao or something. Have something you can exchange. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll go back to cacao seeds. Um, I I have money here. I have money in insurance companies, cash accumulating insurance policies, because insurance companies is, in my opinion, the one place in traditional finance where I can have cash and I trust that I can take that cash out. Just because I've done my research in insurance companies are much more regulated than banks. They have to have one for one liquidity. They're not a freaking Ponzi scheme the way banks are. So, and even then, for me, 20% of my net value is in traditional finance in insurance. The other 80% is in crypto. Guys, that's my comfort level. It may not be yours. Maybe you it's flipped. Maybe you're 80% in traditional finance, 20, whatever. Okay. So that's where I put my cash. And then in the crypto world, like I was saying, I couldn't, like, let's say you take profits from your Bitcoin and you want to have it sit somewhere. So I would convert it to USDC. Don't convert to USDT, you guys. I'm not predicting this, like I can see the future, but USDT may not be around. Okay. They're heavily backed by US bonds and US treasuries, and there's just they're like I don't know, they're not stable enough. They're a stable coin that's not stable enough, in my opinion. But anyways, convert it to USDC, and then I would move that into my ledger. Okay. But if you want to stake it, like Annette was saying, you can leave it on Coinbase and you can make 5% on it. You can easily make 5% on a stable coin on Coinbase.
So, just to point out, I'm in Canada, and I looked into that because Adrian mentioned it, or I'm on Adrian's chat. We can't do that in Canada. So yes, that's a good option for Americans or for other people. But in
Part.
Canada, we don't really have like, I can get like a high yield savings promotional for like 3 months at a bank. And I
Oh, okay.
can't do this. I can't do the circle staking or whatever it is.
Coinbase doesn't offer you the staking in Canada?
I don't think it's available in Canada. I've tried to find it. I could try again, but no, I think it's just they're not doing it. There's different things here. We have, yeah, like a different banking system.
That's
And we
interesting.
have fewer banks, and they're, I think, more regulated.
Coinbase, yeah, allow for staking of
Yeah, I tried to find it like a couple weeks ago, and it looks like they're not doing it in Canada. I looked maybe on Kraken. I'm on Kraken. Well, I'm on Kraken and Coinbase, but it would be the same in every.
Let's look it up. We'll stay in touch. I just looked it up on
Mhm.
ChatGPT. They say they may have something like USDC rewards in Canada, but let's do more research. Like
Yeah.
I said, I don't do staking right now till things are more trustworthy. And let's look it up a little bit more, Andrea, because I'm not sure what the deal is.
But you're doing it for Circle or you're not?
I'm doing with USDC, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't find it. Or
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I saw a thing that said specifically not in Canada.
Okay. I know you came on here with the intention to like get some clarity around retirement and all that. Was this
Yeah.
helpful to you?
Well, I think yes, because I had kind of I've been thinking about it the past few days that I have I've taken profits on MicroStrategy already because I had a lot of credit card debt. So, um, I kind of already got to the conclusion that I really need to take profits.
Good.
So this is kind of confirming that.
If you
It's
just
more,
take that, because
yeah.
the stocks treat everything I said the same with the stocks. Actually, what I shared with you guys, I learned with Brian Rose, who's a professional investor trader. Like that was his thing. And he brought his methodology to the crypto world, and it's missing because most of us are just like like just not we don't know how to do this. So having a plan, dollar cost averaging in and out, taking profits, that's what professional investors do. So yes, I'm glad you got that Andrea, today. And the other thing too is you see how we sat down and we put our heads together, like having community, not going at it alone. So thank you for coming on, you know, allowing us to use you as an example. And that too, thank you so much um, for, you know, allowing us to do this. Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pause here. Thank you so much. Okay, we have a few minutes for Q&A. Remove spotlight from Andrea. Okay, awesome. So guys, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and just ask anything that you want. As I'm going through the chat and seeing if I missed
Hi,
any.
Zaina, can you hear me?
Who's that?
Florence.
Hi, Florence. Hold on.
Hi, we chatted on Messenger. I don't know if you remember me.
Yes.
Yeah, from Accelerator stuff. Anyway, this has been great. Thank you so much. And I do love your energy. I've watched your other stuff and I appreciate you. Cause I'm like you, I'm hype and I'm like, I don't know. I'm a lot of things, I guess, right? A phoenix rising from the flames currently. But anyway, so as far as your cold wallets, do you use Coinbase? Like which cold wallets do you use?
Okay. I actually have both just because I wanted to try them. I have Ledger
Okay.
and I have Trezor. I put them in the chat.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't really have a preference. I don't know. They're both kind of okay to use. Um, I think if you have a family, think about having multiple ones that you can assign to other family members. Like I have one for my son. He's 5 months old. So I got him, he has an insurance policy with cash value. He's going to have a bunch of cash in there by the time he's 21, tax-free, interest-free, risk-free money. And then he's going to have Bitcoin on a cold wallet.
Yeah, that's actually good. I have a 20-year-old son, so he's like his dad and I have set him up really well, but still, even continuing, so then he has no problems. And then I did have another
Sorry,
question.
just make sure if you guys have your cold wallets, write down on a piece of paper, let your person in your household know how to freaking access it. Have it in your will, okay? Because they're not going to know
Yeah.
what to get in.
It's on a piece of paper somewhere. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly. I forgot my other question, so I'll give someone else the floor and I'll
Okay.
drop it in the chat. Thank you.
Yeah, come back if you remember it. Hi, Anastasia. Question, what's the difference between spot on Coinbase and just adding money to my portfolio on Coinbase? If there's a difference. No, there's Coinbase and there's Coinbase Pro. So the Coinbase, when you guys open the app, they keep making it a little bit like you could do a little bit more with it. But that's like the easiest, most user-friendly. So I think that's what you mean, Anestia, where you add money to your portfolio on Coinbase. Because when you go into Coinbase Pro, the trading software, that's where you see spot versus futures, and there's just a lot of trading stuff. So if that's what you're talking about, there really is no difference. If you buy Solana on spot in your trading Coinbase, or you click buy Solana in your app, both ways will buy it in that moment at the price that it's at. Just a fancy way of saying buy it at the price now. Elena, I got it. Good job being on here. She's somewhere in Europe and up at this time. For the altcoins, you mentioned at the tail end, Angie, the only way we wouldn't is if we saw the top at 124 and we're really on the way down. We're all screwed. We're all screwed. If 125 was the top, we're screwed. But if 125 is not the top, okay, if 125 was the top, we would see altcoin season now, like any day now, okay? And if we do see it, then it means that we were at the top. But if Bitcoin keeps going and tops at like 155, then we'll see altcoin season after that. Yeah.
Well,
And
and now that they're dropping interest rates, it's probably a good chance that it will keep going.
it could be that it could be the next precursor, right? Because it's like things happen in the background and we don't see it till we have those cursors. For example, when we had the Bitcoin halving, April of 2024, like the summer of 2024 was the darkest summer. It was like everything tanked, like 90% down. But then we didn't see things start moving till November 5th when we had elections, right? These things push things forward. So the interest rate dropping today, just the announcement of it could be a catalyst for something. Let's see. Let's see what happened. Okay, Anastasia, good. Annette, can we move on token from one exchange to another exchange? Yeah. Like you
Yeah.
mean the ones that
One,
you
yeah.
have in coin?
I have some, yeah, I have something on
You have tab.
CoinCatch. I don't
Yep.
like it on CoinCatch. I think it's now available somewhere else. It wasn't at the time.
Do you
Can
have
I
tab?
move it?
Is it
Yeah,
TAO? I remember
yeah,
buying it
that's,
together with you. Mine is on there too.
I
So yeah,
can't,
and that as long as the other exchange accepts Tau, then you would just do like a send or withdraw and put the address of the other exchange. And if you're
okay,
not sure, when you do it, send me a screenshot, or drop it in the Facebook. But it's when you move crypto from an exchange to an exchange or from an exchange to a cold wallet or vice versa, it's all kind of the same thing. There's a send button. You need the address for where it's going. And guys, if you do that, just send a little, a test first. Like if you're sending $2,000, send $20 first. Make sure it gets there and then send the rest. And I don't want you to learn like I did. One time I sent $3,000 and I had copied and pasted the wrong address. You know where that $3,000 went? It's called crypto no freaking where. And there's no tech support and there's nobody to call ever. I went to sleep that night just swallowing that lesson. And does that make sense?
It's
Okay.
all your lost socks from the dryer.
It's the black hole, I call it. The
And
black hole of crypto.
you don't want to learn that way, guys. Take your time when you do stuff and yeah, do tests before you send things. Don't freaking multitask. Altcoins on ledgers on cold wallets, Angie, you can, but not all of them. What you can do is go to ChatGPT and find out. Every day, Ledger changes. Like, I remember when I started with Ledger, like I couldn't get XRP on there, and then now XRP is accepted. So, and what Trezor accepts is different from what Ledger accepts, and it's always changing. So, but yeah, absolutely. I have altcoins on there. All right, you guys, I want to just share with you some invitations for you to be in crypto community. Okay. So if you don't have a crypto community, I invite you to join ours. We have the Crypto Basics and Beyond on Facebook. This is a free community that we've had for, I don't know, 5-6 years, where you can ask any questions. Everybody on there is, somewhat of a crypto person, and you can just stay in the loop. I drop my updates there. And then I have another crypto group called the Crypto Club. This is if you're more serious. This is if you want to follow my portfolio. I give more detailed exit strategies there. And I keep my crypto club members abreast of what I'm selling, what I'm buying, and when, so you guys can know what's going on. And I drop those links in the chat. You have the Facebook group, and then you have the crypto club. And then lastly, I I said do. I do one-on-ones. And this is more for people who want hand holding, you guys. And sometimes I work with a lot of I call them my baby boomers, the ones that want their hands held as they push send because they're scared and they haven't done it yet. So that's more for the one-on-one. If you just want community and you're serious about investing, join the crypto club. It's $17 a month and you will be just fine with that. You're going to get support. You'll get what you need. And if you feel you need a little bit more hand holding, just reach out to me and we can we can look and see what you need. Okay, so I dropped all that in the chat. I'm just going to see if there's any other questions. Oh, Anastasia, is there another way to confirm the prediction of the target price? You know, what I do is, one, Anastasia, watch those videos. Watch the video that how he calculates it so you get an idea what's used for calculations. But then also look up things, research. Nobody has an answer for what the top is going to be for any one coin, but you'll see when you research, there's like what's the word? Like a lot of people will have the same opinion around a top. So then you can, I look at all these people's opinions and I sit with myself and I try to stay, thank you, consensus, Andrea. It's exactly the word I was looking for. I look for the consensus and I sit and I look and see where do I feel comfortable, you know, calling it my top for that coin. So when to buy, I mean, you guys, we've been in an accumulation phase for 2.5 years now. So if you haven't bought crypto in 2.5 years, you've missed the boat. Okay. But you haven't. You haven't. I'm joking about that. You haven't, because we have pullbacks. So I don't know what's going to happen in the market. My crystal ball is Bitcoin. When Bitcoin goes up, everything follows. When Bitcoin goes down, everything follows. So the next time Bitcoin takes a dip, everything's going to take a dip. That's a great time to buy. Okay. And you don't have to be a technical analysis, like super genius, to look at a chart and say, damn, like the price is so freaking low and it's been low for 2 years. This thing hasn't moved. A lot of these cryptos have not moved in 2, 3 years. Okay. We've been in that lull phase. We had the bear market after 2021. We had the halving, and we've been now moving through the bull run. And as we're moving through the bull run, we have pullbacks. Okay. So we've had, you guys have seen me in the crypto. I'm always like, now's the time to buy, great time to buy, right? Because I see those pullbacks and I see the prices. Holy shit, Doge is at 19 cents. Are you kidding? Like, we see these prices and those are the pullbacks where you can buy. And that I did post it. I'll post it again. And Nancy, do for the coins that you have, do some research and see what the consensus is on predictions, and then sit with yourself with how some people have a more, I don't know if it's patience or ability to wait it out as things go up and down. Okay. I say in crypto and in trading, you've got to develop your Buddha-like nature. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. It's the ability to stay in the center line. Don't get too excited when things go up, and don't get too down when things go down. Because you've got to be able to stick to your plan even when things get crazy. Yeah, if you have a hard time selling, create a plan. If you're not sure how to create a plan after this, set up a one-on-one with me and let's do it together. Set up a plan. Know when you're coming out. Okay. Do you guys want to see how you automate on Coinbase?
Yeah, and Zane, could you just drop in your spreadsheets that you had mentioned, like the predictor one and then the other exit, if you can share that one as well? If you have a generic, that'd be great.
I'm going to drop that one. I do give that one in the club, but let me see if I have a copy I can share with you guys. So this is the.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
I'm going to
Just-
show you guys
Oh.
this sample one. Just make a copy of it. Because I'm just going to delete it after. Delete. Was somebody else about to ask something?
I was just going to ask, like, just to kind of reconfirm what you've been talking about. You'd say it's like pretty definite we're at the end or nearing the end of the bull run for everything. Like rotating from Bitcoin down the line, but we're pretty much, it's been like what, a year and a half since the halving, and
Hold on.
that's
We're at the end. Is Andrea right talking? But
yeah.
Andrea, we're at the end. We're at the beginning of the end. right? So
Right.
Bitcoin starts to go off. We saw that. Ethereum next, we're in the middle of that. Ethereum has not passed its all-time high from last cycle. So till it passes, it was 48.95. Till it passes that support level, then we're going to see the high caps move. And that could take probably like who was it, Christina, the other call, she said she sees Ethereum. She's an astrologer that actually does this professionally. She saw Ethereum at 8K by January. That makes total sense if things are on track and keep going. Ethereum at 8K would mean that Solana's moving, top 10s are moving. Okay, at that point we're going to start to pivot into the last phase. And
So
that's
that's for a few more months still.
it could take a year. The thing that we're seeing in this cycle is it's taking longer. Okay. Because what's happening, by the way, the whales, which we have whales now in the market, we didn't have whales like this before because now you have, you know, BlackRock. They're manipulating the market is what they've been doing, right? So, and the thing with cryptos is transparent. You can see when somebody's making big purchases and selling big amounts. So when they do that, it spikes the prices up, but then it hits that level and it bounces back. That's been what's taking time, is getting back up there. So we've had these manipulations that have been happening that's making it go longer than what we had anticipated. But I don't know. I don't expect, like I said, nothing surprises me. I don't expect anything. Everything I said on this call is total speculation.
Right.
We're living in very interesting times. So
But the Bitcoin pump is likely done or almost done of Bitcoin.
for this cycle,
Yeah.
right? Like I see Bitcoin, when they say $1 million Bitcoin, that's like no brainer. But is it going to happen in this cycle? I
Yeah.
don't know. Unless this cycle it becomes a super cycle,
Super
which some
cycle.
people say. But I don't, the way I'm seeing things right now, I feel like the next cycle is going to be the real, like, generational wealth money. Because right now we're seeing the implementation. It's exciting. We've been waiting for this since the beginning of Bitcoin, right? Like those of us who are Bitcoin fans or crypto fans, we've been waiting for the rest of the world to catch along, and it's happening. But we're really in the beginning stages, right? Like if you look at it, DeFi, decentralized finance, is the first market that blockchained its entire world, right? But we have the rest of the world to tokenize and blockchain, and that takes time, it takes resources, it takes money, it takes brains, you know, like the thing with XRP, is XRP going to go to 100 in this cycle? I don't know. Like I don't understand how quickly they can switch up this system. Like if they can switch it up that quickly, we'll go to 100 tomorrow, but that is not happening, right? So it takes time. So how much time? I don't know. I think we're all learning. We're all seeing this unfold before our eyes. So be flexible, you guys. Meditate, sit in nature, learn to trust yourself, because that's what we need. And the opportunity we have right now, I'll leave you with this. It is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's like, you know, seeing the Industrial Revolution happen before it happened, even though you didn't like it, you saw it was coming. Seeing the internet and social media, even though you're like, I don't want internet, I don't want social media, let's go outside and put our feet in the ground. You saw it coming and you were able to invest in it early. That's where we are. Do I want a cashless society? Am I excited about crypto? Not really. I'm excited about the birds singing outside. That excites me. But I'm excited because I can see, I can be discerning, and I can take these actions now, and I could take the tuition. Remember, whatever you lost in crypto so far was tuition paid. Okay, congratulations. You're one of the few. All right. Don't try to do this alone. Please reach out, at least join the crypto club, or join the Facebook group, reach out to me. And then if you're in the Facebook group, you can reach out to each other. All right. Did I miss any questions? Any last minute? Our time is up. Oh my God.
Yeah. I had just asked, do you program the sell order at your target price? Like how the way you were showing us or showing me how to just do the automated sell order? That's what you were talking about.
So Angie, what I didn't do there is I didn't dollar cost average out.
Okay.
So let's say I didn't do it with, let's say with Cardano, let's say you buy Cardano at 70 cents and you say it's going to go to $5 in this cycle. Maybe maybe you take a little bit at when it doubles, $1.40, and then you take another when it doubles again at 280, and then you wait for it to get to $5 to leave your moon bag.
Okay, so you do multiple levels, multiple sales.
If you, yeah, so that way you're taking profits along the way. And if you miss the top, you still got some profits.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you all so much. My husband, Dre, thanks you because when I do crypto webinars, he has to hear less about me talking about crypto, which he has zero interest in. So he thanks you for spending this time with me. And I love you guys. I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Stay in touch, take some actions, create your damn plan, and stick to it. Okay. All right, go do what you do on a Wednesday night, wherever you are in the world, Canada, United States, everywhere.
Thank you so
Thank you very
much. This has
much.
been great.
Love you.
Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night.